Hey guys, SUNSfan here with a video. I was on the plane coming back from Romania, and during the 12-hour flight, in fact, during the beginning of the flight where I did not have internet, apparently a battle pass type thing came out. So I had to scramble to understand what it is, and I still don't fully understand. So we're going to go over it together. I know Neil came out with kind of a quick recap, but I figured you'd want my early impressions on what DotaPlus is. Because Valve has never really released anything quite like this. Maybe in some iteration, I guess. It's kind of like a battle pass, but more of a recurring one. I mean, there were kind of rumors that something like this was going to come out. I did not expect it to be like a monthly subscription. I'm not sure how I feel about that personally, but let's just go over what it is exactly. So, I did purchase it and activate it automatically, apparently. So this is just what it looks like right when it activates. But I'm going to go over the web page one by one, and not that one, right here. And we're just going to figure out exactly what this is. So an evolution of the Majors Battle Pass. So it's $4 a month. You get a little bit extra off if you sign up for a longer period of time. It is automatic payment as well, as far as I can see. It says available in non-renewing time blocks. I couldn't find an option for that, so I don't know what that actually means. But I did buy the 12-month one because, well, since Dota is my life, I know that I'm going to want this anyway. So the first thing that it offers is hero. Are you meowing again? Hero progression. Can you guys see the TV in the background? That's Monkey's face. It looks a little washed out on here. Oh, well. Yeah, hero progression. So there's hero leveling. When you play games with a specific hero, you gain XP, and then you get hero chat wheel responses as a result, and a couple other cool things. So it feels like it's kind of combining stuff that they did before, adding a little bit extra flair. I'll kind of do this in the recap as well, but I feel like this is a little skim down. Is that the slim down? Maybe is a better word for it. I feel like they're definitely going to want to add, or people are going to want them to add a little bit more to this stuff, but we'll see. Hero specific challenges. So we're going to get kind of the same thing that we've seen before, except it's going to be more tailored to each specific hero. And it's kind of like this progress level 1, 2, 3 stars. You guys have seen this before many a time, of course. And instead of coins this time around, I believe they're shards is what they're calling them. That's kind of the currency that you get to play around with. And also, this is a new thing. So hero relics. This one I didn't quite understand at the beginning. So each hero has gained 14 relics, essentially. 10 are common, 4 are rare, and that track a variety of battleground achievements. Once unlocked, relics update and display your statistical milestones as you play, with a breakdown of progress in each match available on the post screen. So at first, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a nice little addition. You get to see some stats for, a specific hero that you want to see more for, and you can unlock them. But the weird thing is, you're not paying for them, but you kind of are, right? Which we'll get into in a second. So as we can see, the hero chat wheel stuff comes into play. So this is less, Toby or LD's kind of responses to, or from TI. And it's more your hero gets to respond to the all chat in specific cases when you level them up all the way, which, that could be, what is it? Oh, that timed out. No more monkey on the screen. Weekly rewards. So I have a year subscription. So if I win 3 games a week for a year, I get 52,000 shards. The question is, how many shards is 52,000? What does that actually buy me? Which, again, that kind of comes into play with the relics that we were talking about. So we'll go into this more specifically into the store as well. But here you can see if it's a brand new hero, exclusive hero, it's 75,000 for one. So if you do just this for a year, that's not even enough to buy you a new set. Let's say these other legacy ones they're much cheaper. And then, hey, are you guys fighting again? Jesus, these cats. Every time I make a video these days. Again, I'm going to go over this more specifically when we open up the store after that. I just want to do a quick summary of this. Okay, so this is a new thing that we get is the assistant. So it kind of takes what maybe you guys have seen DotaBuff or these other websites. They amalgamate all these stats with how often things are picked up, what the win percentage is. The thing that I love personally, I don't know if it's in this specifically, but for like DotaBuff, for example, I love looking at the talent upgrades because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what's better. And then sometimes I look online and yeah, it's exactly as I expected, a 50-50 essentially. Or sometimes I'm really surprised that one talent is a much higher percentage win rate for whatever reason. So it'll give you like these item suggestions, and it's using like AI. So it'll update as you go based on what lane you're going to, what items you've already bought. You just had to hit like a refresh button, I guess is in the game, the recalculate button as they call it. So this stuff is very cool. Personally, and I know a lot of you are going to say, who gives a shit about this stuff? And I can understand that perspective. Like for me, I'm not going to use this. But I've been playing for 10 years. I'm not that I'm saying I'm great at the game, but you know, what is it? Around a 5K level. I don't think 5K and above they're going to use this very often. I would say this is more for, I don't even know if it's even MMR related. I would say it's much more helpful as a new player coming in to understand. Like, just imagine you're brand new, right? Pretend you get amnesia or something. You play this game and it's your first time. You have no idea what's going on. And some of the complexities can be overcome with features like this, where you're just making it easier to suggest items. Like, if you can just get through your first 20 games without having to worry about what items to buy because it's just telling you, I think that's a good thing. Now, the question is, should this come with the game automatically, or should you have to pay monthly? $4 a month, I don't think is very much money. I know I spend a lot of money in Dota in general. I definitely spend more than the average person. That's just because we're making a lot of videos. $4 a month, I mean, it's a free-to-play game. I think it's okay personally. But something like this, I feel like it would actually help the game more if it just came with it. If this wasn't even part of the battle pass, this should just be in the game, in my opinion. But who am I to say such things? It also does the ability suggestions. So at this level, 54% of the people pick this up. And of course, it refreshes each time you actually skill up. I think that's pretty cool. I've always wanted, I kind of talked about this in the past, and it, again, not an option you have to enable. I probably wouldn't even enable it anymore, but just taking that extra time out of, again, these newer players coming in the game, you don't want them to be overwhelmed by every single mechanic in the game, every single thing you have to think about. Why not just have a system where you can pick a guide or something like this and just say, hey, just, you know what, I don't want to really worry about leveling this stuff. Just auto level it for me, and just get on with my life. That makes it a little bit easier for these newer players. That one, I can understand why some people would not want it. And, you know, there can be debates one way or the other. But again, stuff that helps the new players is things that we definitely need in the game. 100%. That should not be a discussion. Also, with hero suggestions, when you're actually picking what would be good with your specific lineup, what lanes they go to, what the percentage of, or what percentage of times people play the heroes in a specific lane. That's obviously very helpful for newer players as well. Again, a lot of this is stuff for newer players, I feel like, which is why it's weird that some of it is behind a paywall to some degree. But again, $4 a month, not really that bad. Death summary. This one's pretty cool. I will actually definitely use this. I mean, before it kind of showed you when you die, you know, how much damage each person did to you. But this kind of breaks it down a little bit more. You can see how much physical and magical damage you took. Because, you know, sometimes you're not paying attention to every little thing in the game. Like, I'm going to buy a BKB. Then you realize, oh, I'm actually dying to mostly physical damage. Maybe I don't need a BKB this game. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Talked about the lane strategy. And post-game analytics, you can see what people kind of match up with people at your skill bracket. I mean, that is one thing to keep in mind, though. With, I think I saw some people complaining about the laning percentage. Like if you're super low MMR and it says Pudge middle, for example, or something to that effect, as like an 80% play rate. I don't know. I'm just making that number up. But that's a little pitfall potentially, but I'm sure, I mean, it's literally just the first day it's come out. So probably not a problem. Global rank trends. I mean, stuff like that's always cool. Real-time comparative analytics. Which one is? Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the, I mean, you see the KDA last hit and all that stuff. But you see your net worth stats during the game. So obviously you're not going to be able to see the rest of the teams, but that's pretty cool to see. Gives you a better idea. And I think this is kind of a disconnect for players that play casually versus those that watch competitively. This net worth, this idea of net worth means almost nothing to a lot of people. And this kind of bridges that gap a little bit. It's such a small thing, but I think it actually makes a bigger difference than a lot of people give it credit for. Because now if this person turns on a stream and watches his first competitive game, like somebody's playing the same hero that they played, and like, oh, this guy actually has 10,000 more net worth at this minute than me. That's pretty impressive. So it gives you a little bit of like a comparative aspect. Spectator win probability graph. I actually did not read this one. DotaPlus also brings another addition to spectating tools. Oh, right. So in game, when you're spectating, you can see the win probability. I mean, whatever. You get the Battle Cup pass, or Battle Cups are back. So I actually never got to play in one of these, but I know a lot of people like this, so that's good. Seasonal terrain. So having access to this DotaPlus will give you access to each terrain that comes out, or the seasonal ones, I should say. So 4, I presume. And if you want to look at the actual specifics behind what you actually get from this. So let's look at the actual store, and then I'll open up my actual DotaPlus. So in the store, actually, isn't that what comes up when I open up my battle pass? Let me see. So I obviously activated it. I click on rewards. Yeah, it goes to the same place. So remember, 52,000 if you do all your weekly challenges, not including any shards you can get in other various ways, right? So a new set. Do I want to go over these? I don't know. I'm not going to buy these, that's for sure. So Earthshaker, what does he get here? I actually have not looked at these yet. So this is Ambient Effects. So it's basically as advertised or seen here, right? It actually looks like a rocket on his back. That's pretty cool. So that's a mythical. We have an AM set. I'm sure this is just ambience as well. Indeed. The Oathbound Defiant. Oh my, what was this one called? The Tectonic Implications. Ooh, gracious. Siege Engine set for Timbersaw. See, this doesn't feel like a chest opening video because there's no chest, and God, I don't even know how to get 75,000 shards, which we'll probably go over in a second here. Oops. These are ambience as well. So it looks like these come with ambient effects, which is cool. I think that's something that a lot of people at first were kind of against, but now that there's like all these skill changes or custom skill abilities that have been put in the game over time, the ambience are kind of just whatever at this point. Hammer of the Guarded Word. That one. Okay, well, he just doesn't look like that there, does he? That is a sick-ass helmet. Actually, a really cool set overall. I want that one. But I don't play this hero, so I will not get it. The Ornate Cruelty. For fuck's sake. Ornate Cruelty. Magnus set. Oh, my. Pretty cool. And the Silver Fox Sniper. I mean, sets are pretty cool. And again, I don't know what 75,000 shards really means at the end of the day, but if you go to the legacy heroes, these are heroes that have been in past chests. I don't know how they organize these exactly, but it ranges between 3,000. Is it just 2,500 and 3,000? 2,000 looks like is the lowest. So that's easily affordable if you guys need some budget sets, as it were. And then this is the weird one. So this one I don't quite understand. We're going to read the infographic here. So Hero Relics, this is something we went over in the original list, allows DotaPlus members to track extra stats for their heroes. Every hero has a unique set of relics to collect, and once collected, relics start to track stats immediately. Okay, so there's common relics. So if you purchase a roll for a random hero relic for 800 shards, these rolls will usually grant you a common hero relic. And then rares are 10,000. But you can sometimes get them from a random roll. So I was just looking at, because the only hero I really care about right now is Pangolier, because he's so fun to play. This is if I roll for it, and maybe I'll just hit it fine, I'll hit it. Okay, I don't have shards yet, that's right, I have to activate my thing. Okay, we'll get back to this in a second. So to my understanding, all this does is, like if I activate this for 10,000, it will start tracking heroes kills with Swashbuckle. I don't understand the draw. I don't give a shit about, like, this is just adding those gems that keep track of you know, whatever specific thing that I want, and I'm kind of paying for it, right? I could be in the complete minority here. I do not care about this at all. This does not interest me even in the least. So this feature is kind of beyond me, to be perfectly honest. I can understand spending your shards on sets, but excuse me, but this stuff I don't really get. But we'll purchase one. So welcome quests. I get 21,600 shards by just doing all this stuff, which is super simple. I become a DotaPlus member, so I will claim that for 600. Thank you. I will equip the... Do I really want to spend my shards on that thing? I don't know if I want to spend that, guys. I think it was 800 anyway. Stop meowing! Hey! Doing a video! For God's sake! Okay. If you want to be in the video, then come. Bring him. Bring that cat. He's just meowing. All right, he's been put away. Sorry, where was I? Distracted beyond belief. This is 800. Okay, I'm not going to buy this, guys. I'm sorry. It feels like I'm literally just throwing these shards away. It's possible I'm missing something. I've done these videos before and I've missed stuff. I understand. I'm not perfect, you know. In fact, I'm an idiot a lot of the times, but if you can tell me in the comments why this is cool, then by all means. I would rather just save to buy these sets personally. So that is pretty much it. As you can tell, maybe things will be added. I think they've definitely set up a cool thing or a cool system where they can add stuff over time. Right now, I think it's pretty basic. A lot of the features that I consider pretty cool, I think you could argue should be in the game by default. Like the items, the assistant, essentially. I'm just looking at this from my perspective and trying to look at it from a newer player perspective, right? So from my perspective, this is something I will never use. For a newer player, definitely makes sense. But now you're making them pay $4 a month for it. I don't know how I feel about that exactly. The quest stuff, I mean, like the normal battle pass, I love that stuff. I actually love it a lot. At first, people were complaining that people are just trying to finish their quests, but, you know, whatever. It's just pubs. So for the most part, I think this is pretty average. That's being generous. But they can still add a lot of stuff if they want. That's the cool thing about this. This is just the initial release. Over time, I expect them to be adding more and more things to make it worth the... Well, so that's the other thing, right? It is a free-to-play game. I should probably preface this before, but $4 a month, I'd have to calculate how much that actually would cost me versus what I paid before. It could very well be less, right? A lot less, in fact. In fact, I know it is. So if I'm paying $4 a month, after 10 months, just to do easy math, it's $40. I probably paid like $100 for that battle pass for TI. But I'm not really getting as much, right? I'm not getting nearly as much. So that's why I'm thinking more things will be added. There's no info about whether any of this is going to be helping the prize pool for TI, or they're just coming out with a separate thing for TI entirely. I'm not really sure. But yeah, a little bit disappointed with this. I have yet to actually go play around with it, so this is just my initial impressions as opposed to a full-fledged review. Not that my opinion means anything, but in case you were interested, which you may or may not be since you're on this channel. So yeah, that is about it. Let us know in the comments whether you agree, disagree. If I missed anything, feel free to flame, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm expecting more to be added. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, SUNSfan signing out. Goodbye.